Good evening, India. So, we are here with our fourth episode of PRERNA. And today we have a lovely lady with us, Dr. ANSHU ARORA, the principal of AMITY International School, Gurgaon. And
Good
Doc-
evening. I think it's a pleasure joining you on this platform. Good evening, everyone. Have a blessed day.
good evening, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am. We are very eager to listen to your story. Okay, your motivational story. So please do share your existence during the COVID crisis time. I know for the educationists, this was really a tough time.
Yeah.
So it was tough time.
Life. I think, life actually, challenges are a part of your life. If you really want success, you cannot run away from problems. You cannot run away from any difficult situation. It's finding solutions to those problems that you will actually emerge a winner. And because you said my story, I think let me start with my story first, and then I will go to the COVID diaries, which of course is very important. I come from a Marwadi family, traditional, but a family where education had a lot of importance. So luckily, I was sent to a convent. I was given the best of education. But culturally, because we have this custom of girls getting married very early, you'll be very surprised that I got married even before I completed college. And not that my parents were orthodox, so to say, but in a certain set of culture, that's how everyone behaves because that was the norm in my family. So girls between the age of 20, 21 were used to get married, and I also was, I followed that lead. So when I got married, trust me, I did not have a degree in my hand. I did not have a clear aim and ambition in my hand. There was absolutely nothing. I was as raw as any, you would say, a third year student. But life doesn't stop because there is any problem. I'm sure when I meet some people, they give this as a reason that they could not become successful because they got married early. So that is the reason I'm starting with this. I just took marriage as, it's like one of the milestones in life. Graduation हुई है शादी हुई है मतलब for me both were like synonymous. I never gave up my studies. I think all through I made it a point that if I have to grow and move somewhere in life, education is the key. That was very clearly ingrained in me. It wasn't easy. I mean, with two little children, with household responsibilities, with everything, but I continued to study. And the very first school that I applied for, literally they weren't too sure whether I was fit for it because I at that point I was a graduate but not a B.Ed. But they trusted me and they felt that I could actually influence the young children. And I continued studying. I started off as a primary computer teacher and I taught for 15 years. And in those 15 years, I moved from PRT to TGT, which is like a middle school teacher, to a PGT, which is a teacher teaching grade 11, 12. And in the same school, I was also made the supervisor. And then I moved to another organization as a vice principal. Within 1 year, I became a principal of that school. And now, for the last 14 years, I have been a principal. So this long and beautiful journey of professional journey, so to say, of 27 years has been so fulfilling, where I have learned another I would say a rule mantra which everyone should follow, that life is about learn, unlearn, relearn. And I think the present COVID times, I think that has come as a clear example where we all had to do it, whether someone believed in this or not. Luckily I did. Overnight we had schools transformed overnight. I did not know that there is anything called work from home when it comes to school. My son who works in Amazon, I usually joke with him and he's telling me, Aapka kab hota hai work from home? So I used to tell him, beta, after 4 o'clock. I have to go to school because it is a school, but once I come back after 4, then I'm doing work from home. So, I was so surprised that both of us in the house, Amazon and Amity, both became work from home. and nothing was lacking. In just saying that I was at home and managing things, it is not that there was anything which was lacking. We had timetables, we had exams, we had PTMs, we had orientations, we did sports day, we did annual days, we did class presentation. Our children have gone and participated in international events, and even my branch has hosted an international competition. So, in every way possible, I think everyone rose to the occasion. We grew these wings and we learned how one could fly in these tough environments. And because I think we did that, the negative impact of COVID has not hit the front end, warriors. And I will certainly say that teachers are the frontline warriors. They are the ones who've not rested for a single day. Say 15th March, we decided to shut schools. 16th March, my assignment was already on the portal. Come 17th, 18th, 19th, we were online. We had a one-on-one class happening. And I'm talking of teachers who were completely this chalk and talk teachers, who did not even ever make, some of them, not all, some of them never even used to make PPTs because they were so good at their subject. They could actually go to the class and they could just teach with so much ease, and their results were beautiful. But I did this 2 day session training, and I mean, there's not a single teacher who told me that they wouldn't do it or they can't do it. And I am literally outwitted. I am astonished and surprised by how good they have become. Now when I go to their classes, I feel they have learned much more than what was initially taught to them. We gave them the basic steps, but computer is all about, how much time you will spend on it. It's all crowd learning. So I think they have gone and figured out the meaning of each and every button. And sometimes I see features which I'm like, okay, did we tell them that this feature is there? But they have discovered so much. They brought so many URL links. They got, internet, of course, is full of resources. And they got very smart in tapping those resources and bringing it for the children. So COVID diaries, I don't know, even when my hair will turn all gray, I will be telling very, very beautiful stories to my great grandchildren. It was one of the most exciting times of my life, so full of work and so fulfilling. Suddenly after being a principal of 13 years on, offline principal, I also learned how to become an online principal. So there is something which has additionally been added on all our CVs. We have become really technology savvy. To now to meet anyone like we both had to meet, we don't have to think of our real meet. I think virtual has become such a beautiful platform. People are connecting more and more. I mean, even today I am enrolled for an online course. Even today, yesterday, I think I completed one of my course. So you're learning, you're growing, and I launched one of the courses on one of the MOOC. So there is so much to do. I think life has given us beautiful opportunities.
That's really awesome, ma'am. That how negativity can actually be turned to positivity, how the crisis can be turned to opportunity. Somebody should learn from you and other educationists. It's
Exactly. I think we can all learn from this little candle I can see on my screen. I think there's some
let there be
profile
light.
picture or lamp. So the whole darkness gets removed by just one small candle. So you just have to think of one ray of hope. You
Mhm.
put that ray there, and the word darkness will disappear. So it's as simple as that. It's just, it's in your mind, just one thought away.
Okay, I think like that only some thoughts came up and you happened to write some books even. I have
Yeah.
come to know that you are a very good author also. So
I
please,
would tell you that I am a forced author. I have to tell you that why I started writing. I think that story is very close to my heart because I was very fond of a teacher, my English teacher in grade 3. And she was very fond of children who used to write. And she used to encourage children to write. She used to teach grade 3, 4, 5. those primary classes which are very impressionable. So whenever articles would appear in the newspaper, any child in the school, she would literally dance around in the whole school and, really applaud the child and hug the child. And, I was like dying for that love from my teacher. So I just sat back home. I had two elder brothers, but I was too scared to share all this with them. That, I want to write. I was not too sure because they were all very bright and I thought they will laugh it out. So I just wrote a simple poem, which was about homework, because, we used to get a lot of homework back those days. It was a very, very simple rhyming lines that I wrote. Grade 3, I'm talking about. No one looked at the, poem that I wrote. No one edited it for me. And I just got, my father used to have a drawer full of envelopes and all. I had no concept of a stamp. I was that young actually. So I just kept that paper inside that envelope. My teacher had shared the address. We had to write to the editor, Hindustan Times, New Delhi. I wrote that, I sent it. Can you beat it? That got published in the newspaper. And when that poem got published and I got that love and affection, which I was literally craving for, I think that somewhere made my path for it. I personally, I don't think I'm a writer. I don't have that so much in me, but I let my reflections and my thoughts flow. So even, when I'm traveling, doing anything, if any thought comes to me, I just pen it down. I just leave that little thought on a paper. These days, of course, I do it on the phone. I go to the notes section and I just write it. And that's where, because I've just, actively collected my free flowing thoughts, I've been able to write a little, and I'll be very happy to share with you that I worked with CBSE for bringing out their NCC journal. Then I have done the student manual for CBSE. I have two fictions, which is the school tales for school children, and then I wrote a book for my college, Say Bye to Goodbye. That is a book for collegeites. It talks about my college diary. So it has a lot of those beautiful incidents and memories which are very close to my heart. Then I did a series of computer and aptitude books, right from grade 1 to 8. And 2 years back, there was one book which got published, which has all my Hindi poems. So when it comes to poetry, I think I write in Hindi. When it comes to English, prose, it's English. So I think I've been lucky because my experiences, I have just jotted my real experiences. So there is no flashy language. It's not so much made up text. It's the real thing which I felt, or my children felt, or there were real experiences. Because, like I told you, 27 years, my life is all about being school. So there is so much I have learned from my children, from my teachers, from my colleagues. So it's just a assimilation of all those things, which I was just able to kind of pen down. That's, I think, God is kind.
That's wonderful, ma'am. That's wonderful, really. And I would love to read your books. Truly, truly would love to read your book, and I'll definitely read. I'll definitely.
Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. Just sharing some of the things.
Yeah, so in the last few months, like you're asking my sharing, there is an app that I developed. Again, like things start when you have, I think, good thoughts in your mind. So the first time children had their first term exams in school, I got so, uneasy because my general, this thing would be when children are having an exam, just get them to the auditorium, talk to them, give them some tips about learning, teaching. Those are the things I always talk to children, because learning, teaching is one thing, but being truly prepared for an exam, to my mind, is another separate class which needs to be taken. So I was so, I wanted to convey all this to my children. So I just recorded a video and I shared it with my students. And after this single video, I think the chain started. And I did some 30 videos for my own school kids. And I started sharing those with them in the evening. And then later I thought that, since all the 30 videos are there, and because of the videos, the YouTube channel came up, because I think that's the best way of keeping your videos in today's time. I also developed an app. It's free app. The name is iBrain Power. This is for Android users. This free app has all the 30 videos. This app talks about how a child can learn, because we continuously are teaching is beautiful in schools. Parents are also doing great mentoring, but no one ever sits down with the child and teaches him how to learn. Like, you give me a history book, it has a two-page answer, and that's why children run away from history, because they get so perplexed and they think, ye do page hai, ab how do I learn it? You know, we need to just tell them what is a keyword, how to make creative notes, how to, put that two pages into 10 words, and then build one single word with those 10 words. So if you remember something like, Vibgyor, they are the seven colors of the rainbow, and the Vibgyor will give you violet, indigo, blue. These are simple tips and tricks which I have shared in that video. So, like, how to remember the prime ministers and presidents of India, I have just done a 3-line story. Otherwise, if you want to juggle and remember 15 names in a row, I think it's a challenge for anyone. You may do it, and then after 2 days, it'll be blank. But if you just read that 3-line story, all the 15 names are in that story. So these are the kind of things I have worked upon. It also talks about how actually information is saved in the brain, how you can use your unconscious mind, how you can tap that. And yes, it also talks about speed learning, talks about how to increase vocabulary and your skills, because life skills are as important as your IQ and your score. So, to my mind, it's a very comprehensive package. I would urge and request each one to take a look. It's just free. Download the app, see the videos, see them one by one, not all in a day. They're very short videos, 4 to 5 minutes, but I'm sure each video will teach you something.
That's really awesome, ma'am. Awesome. Definitely we'll do it. Actually, that is what is required in our education system. That not what to learn. We should focus on how to learn so that
How?
they can learn anything. Very wonderful. Very wonderful. Ma'am, with this actually coming up, that do you think anything missing in our education system? Any kind of this one changes is required? What
I think
one?
NEP has been very, very progressive. The new education policy has brought in a lot of changes, and being progressive is very much needed. No matter what we talk at any point in time, after a certain number of years, the system changes, the time changes, and there will be a need for bringing in improvements. I think the kind of rich education that India had, according to me, no one in the whole world had. We had Takshila, in a time and age when universities were not unheard of. And people from across the world used to come to India and study here. So we definitely are a seat of good, rich, profound knowledge. If we go back to our, Sanskrit, all the knowledge that is there, a lot of that knowledge now has gone outside of India and is coming back to us. Whether it is yoga, whether it is a healing technique, whether it is quantum physics, when you deeply read those, you will see that they have picked some Sanskrit things and some Sanskrit documents from India. We had Gurukul. So, Gurukul itself suggested that life is not all just about learning your 3 hours and ABCD or maths and science. Even kings and sons of kings had to live like a simple, humble child. They had to clean the floor, they had to cook, they had to take care of their guru. They had to learn skills of life to learn, to live and to prosper. And only then they were taught, and education was always merged with some bit of profound Shastra knowledge. So that somewhere, how to lead a good life is very important. The spiritual well-being, or even if I, remove the word spiritual, the well-being of a child is very important. And it also has now become the responsibility of schools that we become a happy environment. We just don't want children getting 99. We want children who are getting 99, who smile, who are happy, who are creative, who can do researches, who can bring new things out in society. The creativity of children needs to be unfolded. Just telling them that, what is written on the blackboard, copy karo, yaad karo, marks le aao, that all needs to die away. It has to be, if I'm teaching, try and gather what I have taught, go and research more about the same topic. Then even the teacher and the student, facilitator and the students, they need to form a group and find more information about the same topic, enrich their basic learning, and bring that out. So when we start doing that, we're all going to become lifelong learners. And that's what we need. Because no matter what's taught in school and colleges, trust me, if children are listening me, that's not enough. Don't think those 20 years will last you for the next 60, 80 years of your life. So after those 20 years also, you cannot say, ab to exams khatam, pen book side par rakhein. You will have to, trust me, have to. And you need to continue to update, learn, grow.
Right, ma'am, right. I agree to you wholeheartedly. Actually, very rightly, you pointed out that everything went from India to others and then again it is coming back. Now we are hearing, even in NEP and some of the other international means the curriculum also, that is first we have to identify that the student's talent, in which area he or she is. Has got some kind of talent, some kind of extra hidden things, then you have to groom that child according to that. But very these things were there in India since long.
Yes.
Yudhishthir was not taught archery. Then Bhim
Yes.
was not taught this.
Yeah, because Arjun was the best in, archery. So
So
he's the one who had to be taught.
yes, so that was there since that time. Their guru first identified the talents, who is good in what, and then gave the training according to this, which we
Yeah.
have to do it now again.
Exactly. So it can't be one size fits all. We will
Yeah,
have to draw out the innate potential of the child. Even our Vedantic philosophy says that there's not
right.
so much you can give to the child, but there is a whole lot that you can draw out from him. So we
That is
should try and do that and make him a good human being. That is very, very important.
right, right, right. Okay, ma'am. So it's almost time, but I'd like just because you are a very good leader, I'd just like to know something that do you think there is any difference between a leader and a coach?
Certainly, I think when the coach is there with you, he holds your hand and he moves with you. A leader sometimes may move in front of you or behind you. So that kind of work vis-a-vis a teacher or a coach who understands you, who understands your emotional, mental, physical nature, and then gives you, allocates work to you, and then try and still gets the best out of you. And if there is a good coach, he will be able to get more work from a person compared to a leader. Because you feel good when someone holds your hand and moves, makes you go in a certain direction. You will give your 100%. But no one wants to be led. People want, some momentum in their push. I'm doing something, I need some help. If my coach, my boss sits with me, works it around with me, like my chairperson always does, that gives me so much happiness. So that's how we all become more productive, more efficient.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was really, really wonderful. And I wish that more and more people see this video, see this live telecast from here. Watch it later, no issues. But the thing is that there is a lot more learning from you, and I'll definitely look forward for a bigger session with you in future
Thank
sometime.
you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am. Let's wind
Thank
up for today.
you. Lot of blessings, lot of love, and lot of good wishes to all the viewers and to you, especially, who's given me this chance.